It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Good afternoon and welcome to the BCSN Game Time Show.
And to takes a snap. And I keeper throws far side catch made. Breaking tackles getting up to the 35-yard line.
Soto tips it this time. Here's Bayline with the setup. This is going to be a tough one. Got to get it over. They do. FAMU does. Southeastern over the middle. Tipped. Saved. Another block there by Southeastern. Again, Adriana Soto.
All in the hands of TJ Jones. Right down the middle of the lane. Off the he gets it. TJ Jones makes that. And we had a quick timeout. Yes. We'll see what happens. Williams has it. Are they going to foul him? Oh, he kicked off his foot. He lost the ball. And that's going to do it. Xavier, the gold rush. The gold rush. Our champion of the GCAC. Final score. Xavier 78. Tougaloo 75. An unbelievable finish to this ball game. The first GCAC tournament championship since 1996.
We'll give you first up to just talk about what took place in that meeting before we get into some additional questions in regards to the decisions deciding to postpone the SWAC fall season.
And our new number one is Howard University with a record of 5-2. Thoughts, Drew, or any thoughts on the, or any comments, I guess, on the numbers as you saw them in our formula?
I was on the roll.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what you guys do.
Say something, fellas.
Just one, two, some fellas.
Spring games, man.
This is the BCSN Pod Zone, your place for the news, views, and conversations about all things related to HBCU athletics. Here are the BCSN Sports Wrap, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Knights of the Round Table, the Pregame Show, the Carlos Brown Show, the ONG, StrikeZone, and more in one place. We are changing the way you consume HBCU sports, one broadcast at a time.
Y'all's video. All right, I lost y'all video.
That's right, y'all. The Black Collar Baseball Championship Series is back. The Black Collar World Series return May 11th through 15th to a place where so much black history has been made. Montgomery, Alabama, to the home of the Montgomery Biscuit. That's right. Riverwalk Stadium, downtown Montgomery, Alabama. The cries have been heard, and Black College Championships LLC is here to answer the call. No longer will the poll determine our champion, as the top baseball teams from NCAA Division II and NAIA meet on the field for Black College baseball supremacy.
Killing the time. There's a bus to somebody out here.
This is the BCSN Pod Zone, your place for the news, views, and conversations about all things related to HBCU athletics. Here are the BCSN Sports Wrap. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Knights of the Round Table, the Pregame Show, the Carlos Brown Show, the OMG, StrikeZone, and more in one place. We are changing the way you consume HBCU sports, one broadcast at a time.
Yeah, I think our mics are. All right. Hope to see you in the stadium, Keith. All right.
That's right, y'all. The Black College Baseball Championship Series is back. The Black College World Series return May 11th through 15th to a place where so much black history has been made. Montgomery, Alabama, to the home of the Montgomery Biscuit. That's right. Riverwalk Stadium, downtown Montgomery, Alabama. The cries have been heard, and Black College Championships LLC is here to answer the call. No longer will the poll determine our champion, as the top baseball teams from NCAA Division II and NAIA meet on the field for Black College baseball supremacy.
For guys playing in this game, it may be nice and bright, but I tell you what, yeah, like you see what the passing game's gonna be like. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Actually, it's still morning time. Even though, my apologies. Good morning, RattlerNation. It's Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier. We are live in Tallahassee, Florida, just outside of Bragg Memorial Stadium, pre-gaming for today's orange and green spring football game. Man, Mother Nature is toying with us, Kelvin. I mean, she gave us a beautiful afternoon, but then she decided to throw the hawk out on us, and it is nice, bright, but it is windy as all heck. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing well, and welcome to spring in Tallahassee, Florida.
I forgot what it was like.
Yeah, man. It was 75, 80 degrees last weekend and most of the week, and then rain came around Thursday. The hawk is letting us know she's here to stay.
Yeah, definitely. My temperature check says it's 54 degrees, but I think it feels like 49 degrees. It's what it's saying. And it's wreaking havoc on my sinuses and all kinds of stuff. So if you see me just with my towel, I mean, man, I tell you, but we got a lot going on today. We're here for a good time, not a long time, as the orange and green game. Shout out to our producer, AD Drew, who's going to be trying to jump in here, and appreciate you guys who are coming in. You guys can hear us loud and clear. We apologize if you picked up any of the hot mic banter, any language. We apologize. I'm not really sure what you heard, but we got to remember that in the future, because definitely the hot mics. Woo! But
hey, it wasn't us.
It wasn't us.
I don't know who was saying them terrible words.
I don't know who was saying those terrible words. But hey, we're looking forward to a good crowd here in a couple hours. As you can see behind us, the east end zone, the east bleachers is where the crowd will be. You can see a little bit in the background that the west side is still under construction, so there'll only be one side for people to sit on. And so Kelvin, as we think about this game, what kind of, I mean, this makes it challenging for the quarterbacks, to say the least, because I got to say the wind is probably, maybe 15, 20 miles an hour at least.
It's approaching 20 miles per hour at least. And, it adds a degree of difficulty, frankly. It was going to be a degree of difficulty because they drafted teams. So you got players who are playing with guys they normally don't play with.
Yeah.
So that you don't have that normal continuity as a first team playing against the second team and vice versa. So you was going to have probably a little bit of sloppiness anyway. And this win is just it's going to be interesting to see what it does with the passing game, for sure.
What do you think about the strategy of doing it this way with the draft? I mean, I know by nature it's fun to have a draft, but what do you think of? We've seen spring games in different kind of formats. We've seen all offense versus defense. We've seen first team versus second team. We've seen split first versus first, twos versus twos. I can't say I've seen a draft like this, the way it's been literally split down the middle. You got some ones with twos mixed in, maybe even a few threes. What's your thoughts on this format that Coach Simmons decided to go with today?
I think it's fun for the fans and the players to a certain extent. I know Coach Simmons ended up putting out a statement yesterday.
I got that for you, yeah.
And I believe some of it came from potential players and family members whose players weren't called. And he was explaining, and there's some things to tweak and clean up, because it can unfortunately have some unintended consequences doing it this way. So frankly, that was one of the things I said off camera to somebody before they had the draft, that I hope the players bought into it and it was well communicated. The execution was a little bit off, but in theory I thought it was fun. I think it's innovative. They will need to tweak it. And then the other part of your question is, what are the coaches looking for in terms of the spring game at this point?
Yeah.
So if they're, this team's pretty experienced and seasoned, so they're probably not worried about continuity as much right now. And that's why they were able to have this fun and do it this way. I would think if they had a mass exodus of players and there was young folks, they would probably want to go to get more out of it. They would probably want to go to the format with ones and twos against the threes and fours.
I also have a feeling that, and I'll read that statement from Coach Simmons here in just a moment. I also have a feeling that most schools and programs usually have a couple of real live scrimmages with bullets. And so we may not have seen the public-wise. We may not have seen the actual scrimmage of 1 versus 1s, 2 versus 2s. I got a feeling that was last Saturday. Mm-hmm. So, because this is the last day of the practice. So I think this is sort of your opportunity to kind of have fun in a different style. But the real practice, which was probably closed except to maybe a few media people, I know Rory Chirac and maybe a few others had posted some comments from last Saturday that was your 1 versus 1s, 2 versus 2s, situational things like that. Let me read Coach Simmons' comments following the draft. He essentially put out this, and it says, PSA, the inaugural live-streamed Orange and Green draft was a relative success. As commissioner, I'd like to clarify a couple of things for those who may not understand why certain players didn't get their names called. Okay, now that tells you right there, that's, mamas and daddies may have had some calls about why my baby didn't get called for the draft. Yep, okay.
It happened.
He says, we formatted the draft to where one team could not monopolize any position. For example, if there are only 2 healthy players at a certain position, once one team drafts one, the other team automatically gets the other one. So that second player would technically not get drafted, but would be a part of the team that didn't have to draft him. I think that was the case for the kickers and the quarterbacks. Okay, the coaches deliberated and used strategy to try to stockpile certain positions. He says QB, for example, so that the other team would be quote-unquote gifted the remaining ones. I hope this explains why you didn't hear certain names called. Next year we will clean up a few things and make this even bigger. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. That was probably to because I don't think he envisioned that Orange team was going to snag Rashawn McKay and Jerry Mamusa with their first pick. Obviously, the first pick went Jalen Goss. Then the next 2 went your 1 and 2 quarterbacks. I mean,
right.
And then they snagged the 3rd quarterback, Muratovic, which then by that point, okay, well that leaves Sapp, John Howard, and there's
Jackson.
Yeah, that left them, to the green team.
Jordan,
yeah. So, but it instantly sets up for a situation of, okay, well, we get to see what Cameron Sapp looks like. So let's talk about it from the quarterback perspective, okay? As we look at the draft here, I'm going to take a peek over at the Orange team. Let's talk about from a quarterback perspective. With the Orange team, you've got McKay, you've got Musa, and then you've got Muratovic. How many snaps? I got to figure there's a play sheet or a number of snaps that we're going to see in this. And if I had to guess a number, I'm going to throw a number out, say 80. Maybe 80 snaps total.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to use a time. We don't even know the format, so we don't know if they're going to use 12-minute quarters like in a high school game or what. But I'm just going to go off the hunch and say 80 snaps. I got to imagine you'll probably see McKay for 20, 30.
Yeah.
And you'll see Musa for about 30.
Right.
And then you'll leave Muratovic for the last 20, if I'm doing the math right, 20 to 30.
Correct.
You envision something like that?
Absolutely. I would think they know what they got in Rashawn, so his snaps will be the most limited out of all quarterbacks, frankly. And they will see what Musa and Muratovic do with live bullets. It's one thing to scrimmage and, against guys in practice and so forth. But when you got to look, you got a bunch of recruits that'll be here, over 150. Some very high profile 4- and 5-star recruits too. Then you got family and friends and fans and so forth, and that's a different environment. Some people get stage fright, and they struggle with that. So I'm interested to see the coolness. The one thing I would say about Rashawn McKay from day one, all the way back to the A&T game, where he was thrown in cold. He is a cool customer under pressure. whether he's successful, whether he's not so successful, he's the same guy. He's a common presence. The team rallies around him. They take his demeanor. And I think that's intangible, that's invaluable at the quarterback position. And I'm interested to see if any of the other quarterbacks flash. Because it is a unconventional way we're doing this spring game. So I think it would be a good sign, and we want competition. So I hope that the conditions and the format don't mar that.
Right. I know there are a lot of people who are traditionalists. I know a lot of you don't like it. I mean, that's quite clear, because I think that's, you know, I don't think, and I think we just got to be open-minded. It's the first year, you know, be open-minded about it. Again, I firmly believe, and maybe this is something if we get a chance to talk to Coach Simmons, whether it be here or hopefully if we get him on the show Wednesday, we can ask him. I bet you anything the scrimmage that they did was last Saturday, your more traditional 1v1, 2-2, or let Musa work with some ones, let other guys work in sync with one another, where it's your more traditional setup. So that's what I will say to that, and just encourage everybody to kind of be patient. Be patient with that. Drew, you got there. What are your thoughts on this format, and what's your thoughts on how you see this, and what do you think Coach Simmons? What are your thoughts on what Coach Simmons has done with this draft? Make sure we got you.
I kind of liked it as a quote-unquote fan of the team. You know, everybody see. You know, we've seen it with the NBA All-Star Draft. You know, they've gone away from the traditional East-West format.
Oh yeah.
That the two captains draft. Now in this case, you had coaches doing drafts, and it brings some fun. Yeah, the unintended consequences of my baby name didn't get called. Everybody want to hear Junior name get called. And those unintended consequences. I think it would have been nice if they would have done something like, hey, so the quote-unquote UDFAs, undrafted free agents, and then explain that, come up with that statement that he did, explaining why certain people were assigned to certain teams. But hey, it's football, it's fun. It's just one question I got for y'all, fellas.
Yeah.
I thought our school was based in Florida. It's April. I need to go back out to my car and get my gloves, man. And it's not the temperature. It's the 30-mile-an-hour wind that we're having to deal with today.
It's like, don't stand. This is one of those. God bless. Hey, we appreciate you, because as you can see, we're in the sun.
And I'm in the shade.
Drew's in the shade. So.
And I don't have as much meat on my bone as y'all.
Yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't. I'm thankful for you, Drew. I'm gonna buy you a hot chocolate or something later. I owe you a warm drink. Warm dry drink. So yeah, you know.
Yeah, gotta drive home.
Yeah, I know you gotta drive home. So. Let's talk now. Here's another thing of concern that might be, as you talk about offensive weapons, and we're back to looking at this orange roster. Who does McKay, Musa, Muratovic have to go with or throw to? Because I'm looking at the roster now. Leland Wilhoit listed as an athlete, right? Pretty interesting to see him go as the 4th overall pick. That was kind of interesting.
Yes.
So that tells me he might be one of your more in-use offensive weapons. But outside of that, your other quarterbacks, now the orange team is really heavy defensive, but you have Trevante Davis as a wide receiver. You do have Kamari Young as a tight end, Terrell Jennings and Jalen McLeod, both running backs. Let's see, as I go back through, Dalen Hall. Shout out to Dalen Hall from my alma mater back in Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's see, I'm going back through other wide receivers. Jalen Howard, Jalen Howard, Christian Jones, Derek Hall. So those are Cezanne Inge.
Right.
A lot of names we haven't heard before.
Correct.
So those are the guys who they're going to get a chance to really show what they can do, because they're going to work with first team quarterbacks.
Yes. and running backs.
Yeah.
Because they got McLeod and Jennings on this team also. So they are the spots that people will be watching and probably be judged on for this game as the reason why the Orange team was successful or not. Because everybody else is experienced and have played together. We know what we got with those players.
This coming some good info from our good friend Marcus Green. Some of the new names that we mentioned. Jalen Howard, he's actually a 5'10", class of 2020 guy from out of Miami, Norland. He will have to pay attention to him. I mentioned Dalen Hall from right out of my hometown of Indianapolis. He was an AP All-State player, 5'8". We won a state championship that year, so that kid can play. I'll tell you that. I've seen enough of him. He can play. Cezanne Inge from Simeon Academy in Chicago, transferred from Minnesota State Technical College. So he's one of those transfers, new guys that we'll get a chance to watch. On the defensive side of the ball, as it relates to the Orange team, Travis Moss, University of Memphis transfer. We'll get a chance to see him from the Orange team. And then also defensive back Jordan Cumberbatch, a 6'2", 185 class of 2020 guy from Miramar High School. He went to University of South Dakota and then also was at Alabama A&M. So he's had a couple of transfers, but he's looking to find his home. Hopefully he's here at the right A&M. And look forward to seeing what a big guy with 6'2" size does. So those are those guys. Anybody on the defensive side of for the Orange that you want to, before we go over to the green, that you want to mention or
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. All right, both of the Bowler brothers are there. There is some experience, but the two players that most interest me will be Eric Smith, the DB out of Miami. He was a starter 2 years ago. He got hurt. Then last year, right before the season started, maybe it was the first game, I can't remember, but he had season-ending injury. But he's a high-caliber athlete and a high-caliber competitor. I want to see if he's kind of back to where he was, because he will be a force with those older brothers at the corner position. And then the other player that I kind of want to see if they flash would be the two transfers, DJ Jones and I've heard about this Abu Dangura guy. He's been here. He was an underclassman previously, and I've heard some inside intel that he's flashing.
Okay.
So I want to see if he flashes today too.
All right. Let's jump over to the green team, and we take a look at the green team. Obviously, they start our first pick overall, Jalen Goss. And if you had a chance to catch our interview with Coach Smith on Wednesday, I mean, he tells you it starts from the inside out. What does it say about this team that Jalen Goss is your #1 overall pick among all the returners? He's the guy that green team goes with the #1 overall pick.
So it tells me two things. Number one, the first pick went to the green team, and the lead coach over there, our defensive coach, right? And for him, Galen has only been he's only been here since January.
Right.
So obviously he's made a significant impression. Evidently the defense has had
some troubles getting by him.
He's won his battles. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But to be the #1 overall pick,
yeah,
he's won some battles. So that's always good, man, to have a talent upgrade, that kind of success, especially at the offensive tackle position. And he's a long kid, man. I mean, he's a legitimate 6'7" guy with long arms, and he's slight in size, right? He's only like 295 or so, so he has more time to put more strength and stuff. But I think he's a very athletic tackle at that, along with being long, and has pretty good technique. So that's big, man. And I think those third string quarterbacks will appreciate having him, protecting him from this defense.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, as we talk about that quarterback, I feel like, Cameron Sapp, this is his chance to shine, I believe. I believe this is the opportunity that the buzz and everything. We just might have lost the audio. Okay, keep going. All of the buzz and everything that is around Cameron Sapp it's gonna get louder after this spring game, I think, because here he is getting an opportunity to work in situations. Now listen to the guys that he has to work with: Zay Smith, Jamarie Shareed, David Manigo. Gets to work with Destin Coates in the backfield. I'm going through other names. Let's see. Oxendine, Darian Oxendine. These are names that we are familiar with. We know we saw them in the fall, 2021. We know their value guys. And so I think, Kelvin, I think it'll be real interesting. Eddie Tillman's even in this group. It'll be real interesting what the noise is like for Cameron Sapp after this game.
I absolutely agree, man. The opportunity is there for Sapp. And you're talking about a kid who has the intangibles. He has size. He has ability.
Repeat your question again.
Oh, well, okay. We're gonna repeat. We might have lost my audio there. So what I was saying, just for anyone who might not have heard, I was asking Kelvin about the opportunity for Sapp, given all the players that he has. So that way, I don't know if anybody might have lost the audio feed. So yeah, go back with your point. I was asking about the opportunity for Sapp and the noise that'll come from this game.
So the green team has all the top 3 receivers and 2 more receivers that played significant last year. Cameron Sapp is a guy who's been with the program for 3 years now, so he should know the offense well. He has the intangibles, right? He has size, legitimate 6'3". He's the best he was. Now I don't know. The freshman came in last year, might equal him, but he's the best athlete of the quarterback, and he had the strongest arm. So if the light bulb comes on with him in terms of mastering the play and leading the team, he could be a legitimate threat to push Rashawn in the ball, because he was the backup last year, right? He just needs to make that step. But talent-wise, he has everything, and with this particular game, he's going to have the opportunity. He's got skilled people around him to be extremely successful. So hopefully,
I don't want to. Well, there we go. I don't want to start any controversies, but how deep can a quarterback room be? You know, there's 6 guys. I'm going to stop myself. I'm going to go somewhere.
I'll go there with you.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay, so yeah, let's play the game. 6 quarterbacks. If Cameron Sapp does well and he doesn't move up the charts, look, we understand, folks, the reality of what's out there, and I don't know.
Mr. Portal allows.
Yeah, there you go. I'm saying a lot of words, and you just said it right there.
Deep as the portal is, you know.
But that's the reality.
Unfortunately, in today's society, the way these kids are brought up, they don't want to sit at all. Right?
Well, but hold on. Let's be fair.
Most of these kids don't feel like they should have to sit.
But let's be fair. We don't know. I don't want to speculate and say that is Sapp. I don't know Cameron Sapp. I don't know his family. I don't know anything about that. So what I will say is, when you have opportunities elsewhere, and look, folks were laughing about Grambling last week in their spring game about them not having a quarterback. You know, so if you're Cameron Sapp and you put on tape, because it will be streamed on Facebook, and trust me, SWAC will be watching, MEAC will be watching. Even though there's 13 schools, a lot of people will be watching. And if Sapp shows out,
will be watching.
Yes, if he shows out with with the ones with Sapp and or not Sapp, but Smith and Zay and Jamarie.
Sherrod, yeah.
I mean, it's reality. Somebody will be reaching out to his family.
Right. I'm gonna cut you off, and I'm gonna put it out here. And I hate to say it, Rattler family. These 6 quarterbacks will not be here in August. Not all 6.
I'm okay. I agree. I'll agree.
Someone or 2 will explore
opportunities elsewhere.
Other opportunities, and you can't fault them for doing that.
No, I don't at all.
Yeah, but all 6 of these guys that we will see today will not be here when we make the trip to North Carolina.
I put one caveat on that. So in his last year, the 2 freshmen redshirted, so they true freshmen, so they got time. I
Musa
think,
has 2 years. This year and another year.
Yes, and so.
And Howard is on his last year.
Howard's in his last year, and he's a good glue guy, team guy, so he's not. I'm not saying he's not competitive, but he understands.
He understood the challenge when he came in.
Right. So I don't see him moving. So the only candidate in my mind out of these 5, I think everybody else will be, is Sapp. And it really depends on what he does today.
Well, let's be real about it. Once they get some hours on the yard, as we like to say, they are going to explore the opportunity. The freshmen still trying to figure it out. The freshmen have opportunity if they do not see their future and the quarterback position, but love the institution and love the program. They have the opportunity to make a position change. So that freshmen, they have the option. When you get to that junior season, though, it's either fight or flight.
Right.
I hate to say it. So either they're going to play, or they're going to go find a program in which they will play.
Correct.
Some out there may agree. Why am I talking quote unquote bad about play? No, I'm just talking reality. And
sure, that's reality.
We need that dose of reality. We love our orange and green, but
And this situation that FAMU will deal with, and Coach Simmons, is no different than what every other school is going to deal with after spring. You thought
Correct.
the portal was busy before? Oh, it's gonna get crazy after these spring games, because people are gonna realize, oh, I don't have a spot. Let me look for opportunities somewhere else.
And teams will realize, hey, I need a corner, I need a linebacker.
It works both ways.
I need an offensive tackle.
Yep.
I need this to get over that hump. And as we know, the people the people being left out is the class of 2022
the high school
that
kids.
hasn't even
The high
gotten
school
here.
kids.
And let's think about that. We've got recruits coming in that are not here, or we have players who came in who are not eligible to play in this game. So those are other slots that got these guys in. They're gonna be in summer camp. So you've got to figure out what it is. If you're already the number 3 or 4 on the team in the spring game, and there's a 2022 coming in, and a transfer guy who hasn't even hit the field yet.
Right.
So
who will be here?
Who will be here? They've already signed.
Right.
That's okay. I need to get a dose of reality. Either I need to concentrate on my academics or find another school.
Well, that they say the one powerful thing about football, the tape doesn't lie, and your work speaks for itself.
There you go.
So
work.
when you play and when you produce, you stay.
Correct.
You stay on the field. So in the end, we speculate all day, but when guys are productive, when they're doing the things that the coaches are asking them to do, they don't leave.
And environment, Drew mentioned about the culture at FAMU right now. I think that those kids love the program, they love the school, they love the coaches. So as long as they feel like they've been treated fairly and have an opportunity to compete, then they're less reluctant. Just like with most programs, they're less reluctant. But at the end of the day, he's absolutely right. Once you get there, you only got a year or 2 left to play. And so those kids, as much as they love the program, there will be some that will not stay.
All I was going to say is to potential recruits, this is not rambling, this is fan.
I saw an interesting post posted by somebody. It was a coach that was sort of making a plea out to HBCU coaches just to remind them and say, hey, while you guys are looking in the transfer portal, don't forget about these high school kids.
Right.
Because, look, programs like North Dakota State, who have a history of success, the way they've done it is they've gone after 2 and 3 star guys, developed them 2-3 years, and all of a sudden you have that depth. So there is a delicate balance between your depth and how you build your roster and what you accept in the transfer portal, so on and so forth.
Right.
Let's take a break. Come back on the other side. We've got a little more to talk about this game. Talk a little bit about Junior Day that's also going on here. And hey, our baseball and softball teams got big wins last night. We're going to talk about that as well. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone live from Tallahassee, Florida, pre-gaming for the Orange and Green game.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate pride. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Support the Black College Sports Network so we can continue to provide you coverage. Go to myjbn.com/support and be a part of the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May.
Tallahassee, Florida.
Just a little bit chilly.
Just outside of Bragg Memorial Stadium where the Orange and Green game, spring game, will take place. We got winds whipping in the unofficially 25 mile an hour winds, so it'll make passing real interesting. But other than that, we've got a beautiful, bright day, blue skies in Tallahassee. We just got to deal with the wind. As you can see, we are bundled up and man, thankful.
I do believe by 2 o'clock, I'm hoping, one, it definitely will be at least 8 to 10 degrees warmer. But hopefully,
it all depends on the wind wind, though. Don't you think?
Hopefully the wind will die down a little.
I hope. We can only hope and pray. Again, it's Junior Day. Strike 23 is going on here. There are probably over 100 potential recruits. 150 recruits. Thank you. Coach Riz, he told us a few weeks back on the show that he is loaded up with all kinds of potential student athletes. Come to find out, one of the young men from my school, his dad was telling me he was coming up here. He got an invitation, one of the 150. I didn't even know. I was like, oh, that's awesome, man. But we've seen 4 stars, 5 stars, all kinds of guys that are getting offers from this coaching staff. And when you look at what we're offering, what excites you about the potential of what's ahead?
I want to be a little coy and not praise too much, because I know there's a lot of eyes and ears. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Coach Riz is killing it, man. And the kids, and the parents, and the coaches are really responding to him, showing him a lot of love. Of course, Coach Simmons show him some love publicly too on social media, and he's doing an awesome job. He's only been here a few weeks, right?
Right.
And then let me add to that. I think it helps that Florida State has a spring game also later on, I think at 5 o'clock. So some of those kids, particularly the 4 or 5 stars, were in town, and just having the opportunity to do both. I'm telling you, we got some big time recruits.
Yeah.
So that looked like the second time that we're piggybacking off of each other.
Right.
FAMU and Florida State. First one was the pro day. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
About 10 days ago. And obviously today with the spring game, people coming in, they're getting their 2-for-1.
Yep.
And you see 2 games, maybe a night in the hotel, bring some money to the local Tallahassee, Leon County economy, be it from last night or be it from today, and then hopefully make the right decision.
Let me do an offer. Our good friend Marcus Green put together a breakdown of just what the offers look like for the class of 2023, right? So this is some of the guys who will be here. There have been 35 offers to 3-star athletes. There have been 31 offers to 4-star guys, and there have been 5 offers to 5-star guys. Another 12 offers here. Now, let's see if I can find my mouse here in these ridiculous conditions.
You mad? You want to trade? I'll trade you some.
Yeah, no. I'm good. I'll figure it out. And there's about another 23 guys that either we don't have their rating or they're not ranked according to 24/7 metrics. I don't know how to read his year by quarter thing. I'm not even going to go to that because that's some great stuff that he broke down by position. If I give you a position breakdown, 19%, 18 of those guys, 19% have been the guys qualified as athletes. 16 or 17% have been wide receivers. 12 or 13% of that group is offensive linemen. 10 or 11% of the group is defensive backs. 8 offers, 9% defensive ends, similar to linebackers. I'm going to try not to blow away here as the wind is really trying to destroy us right now. All right, maybe the wind doesn't want me to share all this information. Mother Nature's like, stop, you're sharing too much. But anyway, so that's just a taste of what's happening here.
Is this April or is this in October?
I have no idea.
This actually feels like homecoming.
They do.
Yeah, you're right. It does feel like homecoming music. Although I don't remember a homecoming with the hawk moving like this, though.
No.
Hey, I want to finish up, Kelvin, with the green roster. Any names of interest to you, or
this team, we know what we got.
What do you say, about 20 snaps for Zay and Shareed probably?
At the most.
Yeah.
At the most.
Treat it like the third preseason game.
So
Let's get some slow, just let them get a couple snaps, show their face, come on out. Let's get some work.
So there's two quarterbacks I'm interested in seeing.
Okay.
Well, of course, Sap first, because he's got the best opportunity. But I'm really interested to see Ja'Cory Jordan.
Okay.
Because this is a young man out of Jacksonville, I think Trinity Christian. I watched him in the championship game. He's a legit 6'4" long. He's a super athlete, super strong arm. He was a 3-star, borderline 4-star coming out. And for him to choose us and us to be able to get him out of high school, kind of captain. He won the state championship. He brought his team back and defeated a state champion to do it. He's a impressive recruit prospect. And I want to see now that he's had a year to sit, and do I start to see the development? Because he was a raw talent. He was really good, but he was a raw talent. So I want to see if he's developing, and he's got all those great wide receivers and skilled people on that side.
Is he in the same class with Muratovic?
Yes.
Okay, same incoming class. Okay.
Now fellas, I really want to see Sean McKay and see, last year he had the pressure coming in replacing Ryan Stanley, and at the beginning of the season there were many questions about him. We saw the improvement out the season with McKay. Now you had an off season where you're the man. Now last year we didn't know if you were the man last year. Now you're the man. Now let's see what kind of improvement that you have made from January to April right now, which is going to salivate my mouth to see what happens when you're here over the summer, getting ready for that opening day in North Carolina at the end of August.
Yeah, I don't hear anybody talking about a quarterback controversy or quarterback questions this year. I mean, I think we all pretty much presume that it is McKay, unless somebody else shows something. But we all think it's McKay, and as long as there's good help and he does what he continues to do, what the coaches ask him to do, I think it's safe that it's his. One thing for the green team, I like the fact that linebackers they drafted their 4th, 5th, and 6th linebackers. We talked about that was an interesting spot for this defense. What would we add from the linebacking core? Marterry Brown, Isaiah Major, who you mentioned, Johnny Chaney Jr., 3 linebackers that were drafted. Lovey Jenkins, Coach Smith talked about possibly moving him into that spot where Marquise Bell previously was. So
Eric Horn.
Yes, Eric 20 Horn.
Yeah.
We're looking to see what he looks like. Iowa State transfer. So the linebacking core, I'm really excited to see if we've improved with some guys in that role. Any other final thoughts on the spring game or the rosters before we jump over to a quick roundup from our baseball and softball team?
Just Orange is built more balanced. Green is built more defense, and so it'll just be real interesting. And I want to see a competitive game. Of course, no injuries, and hopefully, some playmakers will make some plays.
Hey, before you jump over, Brian, a couple shout outs from Facebook. Jimmy MC says, I see you guys at our old tailgate spot.
Yes, you're right, Jimmy.
There you go.
Guilty.
And shout out to Chuck Hunt tuning in with us as always on the Black College Sports Network.
Definitely, and shout out to Keith, Tamara T, and Kylan Chavis on YouTube, shouting us out and checking us out on the YouTube stream. Anybody watching us, please give a thumbs up there on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, give a thumbs up. Go ahead and share, because this stream will run. So even if somebody missed the beginning, it's an opportunity for them to kind of catch up a little bit later in the day. Remember, the game doesn't start until 2 o'clock, so there's an opportunity for people to catch up. So make sure you share the feed, share the broadcast, and let people know about our spring game, about just the O&G Strike Zone. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at O&G Strike Zone. We are part of the Black College Sports Network. Any final thing there you want to add before we jump in over to baseball, Drew?
No. That's roll. The only thing I want to add is, can I get a little sun? I will be behind this.
It's closer as the sun. As we get closer to noon,
I need that
it's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
And probably by halftime of this game, we'll be stripping and getting out these hoodies and everything else.
Oh no, it's cold. I don't see that happening. I got to feel I'm going to be in this hoodie until it's time for me to hit the road back to Orlando. Hey, real quick, baseball, big win. We're on the road. We're one game out of first place going into the 3-game series against Bethune-Cookman. We haven't played in a couple of years, as we can kind of see in the background. Probably that's a lot of the Strike 23. I remember Coach Riz saying they were doing a lot of tours. So we can kind of see in the background, walking down Waddish Way, we can see a lot of recruits. But baseball team goes out to Daytona Beach, Jackie Robinson Stadium, and picks up a...
Move it closer.
I'm hearing me good. Picking up a 5-0 win. Not quite a complete game shutout, but Hunter Veets again goes deep. He went 8 innings. Wheeler gave up. That's a 1-hit combined shutout.
Yes.
Again, that's huge.
Yes.
Cannot talk about, I mean, that's the second time that Hunter has gone deep into a game. I think the last game against A&M, Alabama A&M, he went 8 innings as well. So awesome performance by the guys. As I'm just kind of reading the roundup here, we scored the game's first runs. I got to talk to whoever's writing these reports. It's runs, not points. At the top of the third on an RBI double.
They got a journalism student on there.
I mean, you know, they do. I'm not. I stop complaining. Grant Rowell to give the Rattlers a 1-0 lead. We added runs at the top of the 6th inning on a Will Brown RBI single, and Jalen Niles added an RBI double. We went up 3-0, carried that 3-0 lead through the first 3 innings. Added 2 more in the bottom. Actually, it would have been probably in the top of the 9th on a 2 RBI single by Rowell. So Rowell ended the game with 5 at-bats, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, and a double. Hunter Veets gets the win, pitching 8 innings, striking out 10, giving up 1 hit. As a combined team, the Rattlers gave up a 1-hit combined, combined shutout. We got 10 hits, only committed 1 error. I mean, gosh dog, Kelvin, that's about as perfect a game as you can imagine to open a series.
Before you comment on that, got a couple people saying that tough to hear with the wind. Y'all might still be closer to your mouths. I've got it turned up as much as I can without.
Hey, yeah, it's the wind.
We're working as best as we can.
It's the wind, folks. I mean, you know, Mother Nature's.
It's not the equipment this time.
Yeah, no, it's the wind. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead, Kelvin. Add in there.
Well, you know, this is our 13th win. In MEAC play, this is our 7th win, I believe, in a row. Because, you know, as you say, Bethune was ahead of us in the standings by 1 game. And so, for us this is our 3rd shutout in our last 8 games against MEAC competition. So we're playing really good ball right now. We're rolling. We're on the streak. We're on a SWAC winning streak. So hopefully they'll maintain it. You know, Bethune is a tough place to face. Daytona Beach, Jackie Robinson Park, Turffield. I'm encouraged, man. I'm excited, man, and I just hope we continue to rise up the charts, the rankings.
I don't know if Alabama State won last night. I have to take a look at the SWAC scores, but it does put us at least either in a tie for first or right there in second. I'm gonna, I don't know. This my allergies are just killing me right now with this wind and everything else going on. So I'm apologize, right there for anybody who was like, "Why is B coughing? What's going on with him?" Just allergies. I promise. It's just allergies.
No vid.
Yeah. Well, what's that? Is that even around still? Anyway, let me stop. So, yeah, I think we play again today at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. take a look at this, see if I can pull up the schedule.
No, I think it's night game. I think it's
night game.
I think it's 6.
Yeah, 6 p.m. Wow. I don't know. Let me see. How long would it take me to get from here? I don't know. I'd make it in time. No, I won't.
2.5 hours.
If you're in the Central Florida area, though, and after you finish watching the Orange and Green game on Facebook, you can drive over to Daytona Beach and watch this game. So I want to encourage all the Central Florida Rattlers who aren't going or aren't coming here, go to Daytona Beach, man. Go support the fellas. I mean, this is a big opportunity to build a lead. I was hopeful to get 2 out of 3 against Bethune, so that's the goal. At least that's what I hope. Softball, our Lady Rattlers on the road in Jackson State, and I know they're doing sort of like a blue and white league.
No. They're home.
Are we? Oh, that's right. They're home. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, they're home. They're right here.
They have to play this win today.
Oh, nice.
What time is that?
2 o'clock, I think. I think that is a day game.
That is a day game. Okay, maybe that's where I was confused. I was thinking softball was on the road, and I thought baseball. Okay, so
hold up, time out. Why would we be playing softball at the same time as the Orange and Green game?
I don't think they're playing at the same time.
That's what time it is.
It's 2 o'clock game. It's the same time.
It's a 1 o'clock game. So yeah.
So you go over there and catch.
Well, it's 1 and 3.
Catch about the first 3, 4 innings, and then walk back over to the state.
So it's a doubleheader today. Softball's at 1, and then at 3 o'clock. Obviously, look, you got to do what you got to do. I mean,
yeah, they already had this schedule. This is a conference game prior to, so
But Jackson State was leading the East Division of the conference. They have an overall record coming into the match of 17-17. I think they had like 10 wins in the conference. So that was a big win. 9-3. 9-3 was the score.
I guess you'd have figured it out.
Yeah, I figured it out. This is the only thing we can do to kind of keep the wind from not infiltrating too badly here. Yeah, so a good game. Let's see. I'm trying to read a little bit of the report from those of you who may not have watched it. Go to FAMUathletics.com. You can read the report, but it's a good win against the first place Jackson State Tigers. Anytime we can beat Jackson State, it's a good thing, So shout out to, congrats to the Lady Rattlers, and that's a big win. I think I owe myself at least a game. I feel like I got to watch a game. I may check that 1 o'clock game when we get out of here.
Hey Brian, you were asking about the Alabama State game. They defeated A&M 10-4, and Southern.
They're going to sweep that series.
Heck yeah. Southern defeated Alcorn 16-6, and the other team.
That's pretty good for Alcorn. They held somebody to under 30, under 20.
I'm just waiting on us to play them.
Well, exactly. When do we get a shot? Anyway.
We don't get them this year.
Oh,
hey, how about the Battle of Houston? Prairie View defeated Texas Southern 14-4. After Texas Southern got off to that fast start in the conference, they
got off to a start because they were playing Alcorn. They were playing Alcorn. That's what happened. They got off to that quick start playing Alcorn. Now they fell back to reality a little bit.
Yeah, they're playing better competition.
Exactly. Sorry about that.
It is what it is.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Texas Southern.
That's both in conference and out of conference.
Correct.
If you looked at the out of conference schedule also.
Sorry about that, Texas Southern. Cheap shot. That was a cheap shot. I apologize.
That was the truth.
It's true.
You said that, not me.
Hey, exactly. Let's see.
And I can't snipe you right now, because if I snipe you, I snipe Brian.
Appreciate that. Let's see. What else? No, it's okay.
What about the letter from the VP?
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't want to leave that out. Okay. Let's do this. Let's take a break. We do have some time. There's extra time. The show can go overtime. We thought we were gonna have to get out of here because we had a show coming up behind us. We can go a little bit longer, so we are. So hang in there. We're gonna take a short break. I got to get a drink and blow my nose, and then we're going to come back, and we got a lot to talk about. Season ticket information is out, and boy, it's going to be interesting to see how some of y'all act with this. So we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone live in Tallahassee, Florida. We'll be back in just a moment.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Let's get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your family.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium.
Welcome back to the ONG Strike Zone. Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier, live from Tallahassee, Florida, just outside of Bragg Memorial Stadium.
Alaska, man. This ain't Tallahassee, Florida.
Yeah. I don't know what y'all claiming this is.
Hey, look, fellas, as the only person on this set under 200 pounds, man, this is not fair. I'm about to blow away out here.
Yeah, you in that chair, all in one foul swoop, just whoop. Hey, we're excited to be out here, get a chance to watch the Orange and Green spring game coming up here at 2 o'clock. If you hadn't had a chance to catch any of the early moments, we've probably been out here for maybe about 40 minutes or so. We're trying to de-thaw as the sun hopefully starts to settle above us, but we're still cold. But you can go back and watch a little bit of our breakdown of this game. The game will be featured, will be broadcast on Facebook. So Melvin Beal, and we had on Wednesday, we had Albert Chester on the show Wednesday. He'll be doing the color commentating. We believe I believe Ty will be on the sideline. I know she tweeted that earlier. I didn't get a chance to confirm it with her, but I think she will be here. So it'll be sort of treated like a normal game day is the vibe that I'm getting. We don't know how the game will go in terms of script. Will it be scripted in total number of plays, the clock,
Points.
Points. Will it be 15-minute quarters? Will they go 12-minute quarters? Will they minimize it some? We don't know. So it'll be interesting to kind of find out what that'll be like. I imagine, though, we both kind of agreed there'll probably be a limit to the number of plays and quarters. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw two 12-minute or if they did 12-minute quarters, high school style. I mean, you know.
How quick would the whistles be?
Can't hear you. I know you're trying to say something, Drew, but it kind of is coming in and out.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
There you go. You're in and out.
Looks like the wind is short of my doggone cord and it blew the cord out where it's not beating the connection like it's supposed to be on my mic. Anyway, want to see how quick the whistles are today. Obviously, we don't want to see anybody get hurt, especially on the quarterback. Don't know if they're going to put the red jerseys, quote-unquote red jerseys on the quarterbacks and things like that. So, and then let's see how intense these people are. These people playing for jobs and they're going to come out and play and try to hit somebody, or are we playing essentially to be attacked?
No, I don't think we're gonna play tag. I think
you know what I'm saying when I say to be attacked.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going.
Is this gonna be the Pro Bowl, or is this gonna be a real football game?
It'll be a preseason vibe. I don't think you're gonna try to decleat anybody because it's your own guys. This your own guys. But I definitely think.
Don't forget you got recruits.
You got recruits here. Yeah, you got recruits here.
You want to put on a show.
You want to be sharp.
And we've got a lot of transfers who we were going to be relying on to fill in the plugs for the guys we lost. Yeah. So I do anticipate some competition on this one.
Okay. Hey, what's interesting as we watch some of the groups of, again, it's a junior day, 150 recruits that are on campus as they're walking. I'm wondering what the impression is. Because look, I don't know about you, but I still remember that first time when you're walking around campus and you're walking up and down these hills and you're not used to that. Woo. you're like, what? Am I sure I want to go to school here? These hills.
Hey, I was born and raised on these hills,
yeah,
so it's different.
I was born in a city where it's nice and flat.
Thank you.
And when you had to walk from
Yeah, that is the one thing. We've got probably 15-mile-an-hour winds. It's blowing, if I had to guesstimate, it's blowing west to east.
Yeah. But when you had to walk from over here off of Warnish Way back up towards where the set wasn't open when I got here, we were all construction area. Well, at least two of us was. I think Brian came after construction. I know Kelvin and I was here doing the reconstruction on campus, and then walking up back where McGuinn and Diamond Hall and everything was, I know my freshman year, I wore out a pair of Stacey Adams shoes because I was in SBI. And, you had to wear those shoes going to form and everything, and I did wear a hole in my Stacey Adams.
Yeah, I know a good friend Dexter Martin's watching us. Asked if we were going to interview any recruits. They're in their groups right now, walking around campus, so we're not going to have an opportunity to get to any recruits. And I know the media department has asked us to be very selective about on-field, in-game interviews even. So I don't know. Any conversations that we have with recruits might just be kind of in conversation off camera. I don't think we'll get a chance to get any on camera. Now, we may be able to do some things on the normal Wednesday show through some connections, so on and so forth. And so we'll kind of see what we can set up after that. So I see one of the first RVs kind of pulling in. Be interested to see. But hey, let's talk. There's this thing, Kelvin, that we affectionately call the Friday News Dump. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Friday News Dump, it's where, as an organization, you kind of put something out there at the end of the day on Friday, the close of business.
After lunch.
Well after lunch.
Well after lunch.
Like right when everybody is trying to pack up and go home and logging off their computer and everything. Yeah. So the Friday News Dump usually occurs sometime between 4 o'clock and 6:30. Well, last night we got a letter from A.D. Gaucher, posted on the athletic website, and posted 4/8/2022, 6 p.m.
Wow.
FAMU.
Not only was that a news stuff, but that was after hours, after everybody has gone home. So unless you have an alert on your phone, you probably still do not know what we're getting ready to talk about.
Well, you can read it on FAMUathletics.com, or you can read it on Twitter. It's on Twitter. The link is posted on Twitter. But it's a letter to RattlerNation regarding 2022 football season tickets, which go on sale Monday, April 11th. And I told somebody, remember we had the conversation, we said, oh, when are season tickets going on? I told you anything, I bet you something was going to come down this weekend. I mean, why not? It's a spring game, you got everything going on, so yes, and it's very important that this letter get out, because there will be a lot of questions that folks have. So just going to talk through some of the bullet points that I come across as he begins the letter, letting people know that the renovations that are going on to the stadium include the west side of the stadium will have a new press box and observation, quote-unquote, party decks that can be rented on a per-game basis. Fans will have permanently installed seat backs and over 200 chair backs based on your ticket level. The new stadium layout will relocate and displace some patrons.
Say that one more time, Brian.
The new stadium layout now, not anybody else. The new stadium layout will relocate and displace some patrons. I like the use of the word patron. You know, that's a Masters. The Masters use that word, right. Patrons, right now. You know, not the fans, patrons. However, we ask that you understand that this is a byproduct of our tremendous growth, stadium upgrades, and program improvements. University box office and athletic department will make every effort to accommodate all patrons. So, Section E will be reserved for investing in champions package holders at the $1,650 level and above.
That is the 50-yard line on the west side. That's where a lot of our generational Rattlers reside. A lot of them have been and are invested in champions, but you know the levels were different. So it'll be interesting to see that reaction, because our fan base, they are very territorial.
How much do season tickets normally cost for people sitting in that section? Or if you're part, what was it previously? What was somebody be paying in that section previously?
I think investing champion packages start off at what, $700 or $800, somewhere around there, and that included reserved seating in that section. But most, like I say, a lot of those folks in those sections have been passed on through generations. They've been there for years. They know everybody who's supposed to be sitting next to them and everything. So that would take some
getting used to,
finagling, because I'm not sure how that, I understand what they're trying to do. I don't, in theory, have a problem with it. I probably would like to see a little bit better execution in the communication and let folks know it was coming, but that probably will.
Is it a byproduct of the number of rows, the number of seats in a row? What will that be changing? Do we know?
So I'm not a part of the entire thing, but what I can tell you, what I've been told, is a combination of a lot of things. Yes, the configuration is going to be different, just like with the east side stands were done. You don't have as many seatings. You have aisles and walking platforms at different levels. So it did change the number of seats in different sections and how many rows in those sections. And so with this platform and the new press box and so forth, that absolutely impacted seating on that side. So that was going to require some relocation of pictures, like they say, regardless. So that is a part of it.
That section. Can't hear you.
Now, Kelvin, for those of us who are directionally challenged, you say the west side, is that the press box side?
That's the press box side.
So people understand.
That's what everybody who Rattlers who know. That's the alumni side.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now that section will have both full seat back and chair backs. That's nice. Investing in Champions package holders at the 1650 level will be offered bleacher back seats, while I guess this is 2C holders or LLC holders. You help me out there. LLC. At the 2800 level and above will be offered. That's investing in Champions. I'm sorry. Right, yes. Yeah. Okay. I'm not really sure I like that acronym the way that is, but anyway, at the 2800 level and above will be offered chairback seating within the designated sections. Investing in champion season ticket holders will be offered seats in section A, B, C, D, F, G, H, N, and O. Fans will no longer be allowed to bring their own seat backs into the stadium.
Say that one more time, Brian.
You fans will no longer be allowed to bring their own seat backs into the stadium. Which, they want you to purchase one and have it permanently installed.
I don't know that's the case. What I will say is it is in line with the industry standard. Most stadiums you go to don't allow for that either. So it just be interesting how we enforce it.
Industry standards, key word, because I think that's one of the things that we've done things for so long a certain way that have not been industry norms or standards. So you got to get used to change. Nobody likes change. We understand that. Nobody likes change, and
so we went from no umbrellas. Now you got to have the clear bag policies, right. And now you're talking no share bag, and we're talking digital tickets.
Correct. Only digital
tickets only, unless you request that they mail you your ticket, and that's probably gonna get to a point. Then they will mail it to you as long as you pay for the postage, because that's just how things are going. Some of these are byproducts of COVID. Some of this stuff is just technology changing at the time, security. Right. Now the one person who's gonna be mad about the digital tickets is the brother that uses on the corner of Gaines and Wattage Way, try to get you to buy a ticket from them before you even get down into that crowd. So, but yeah, you got your good points, you got your bad points about it. Hopefully with the new stadium design, everything like that, the actual entry into the stadium will be faster than it has traditionally been in the past, with you going with the digital tickets down. So hopefully that will improve.
Yes, that's my biggest concern, execution, not the change, but the execution of the change. Right. That's going to be very pivotal for the patrons to buy into. And part of that, so Section E, which is 50-yard line on the west side, is going to have chair backs, so there's no need. So people won't complain. Those folks won't complain because they have the chair backs. But those folks just on the other side of that, the 40-yard line on either side, Section D and Section F. We'll have to see, and the reason I'm bringing this up, because having dealt with logistics and all this stuff, the reality is you have a lot of 60+ fans in those sections, and they have different elements. They can't get around like they used to. So even though I understand the intent, you have to understand that that's a reality for those fan base. They want to come in their orange and green shoes and hats and so forth and cheer for the Rattlers. And they need the back support. They need the cushion and so forth. So that's why I'm saying the maneuver that's is going to be critical.
What is the usual policy for those who aren't aware? If you're a season ticket holder, is there a, I know they're saying season tickets go on sale Monday, but if you were a season ticket holder for the past 2021 season, usually you kind of get first dibs.
The way I read it, and
wait a minute, read it where? Out of this letter or elsewhere?
I don't remember where I saw it.
Okay.
But I did see something, and the way it was presented was that you had till the end of June, I think it was sometime in June, where if you didn't pay in full by then you lose your spot basically, and it's open, and that inventory will be made open to the public.
June when?
I thought I saw June 30th. I think I saw something.
Either the 30th or the 1st. I don't know if it was the 1st of June or the end of June, but it was June was the month.
And also something else that I noticed is the OPC is not included in the season ticket package. That is a standalone event.
You brought that up. I was gonna get to that in a second. Yeah.
And one thing that has always fluctuated with our season tickets is which classics are included, which classics are not included. Is the Florida Classic included? Is the Florida Classic not?
All right, so let me transit. You're asking good questions, so let me transition to that. Obviously, season tickets. Now, this is called the Unfinished Business Tour. How do you like that name, by the way? 2022, the Unfinished Business Tour will go on sale Monday, April 11th. Rattlers are encouraged to purchase your Investing in Champions packages and season tickets early, while Investing in Champions package prices will not increase from the 2021 season. Hey, there's a win. Good move.
2021.
Well, okay, yeah. No increase from last season. Obviously, there's changes to the seating and parking areas associated with the ongoing renovations at Bragg. Orange Blossom Classic tickets are not included in any package. Were they included last year?
For a few, yes. They had already paid the year before. Remember the 19th season.
Right. Okay, so these tickets are standalone and can be purchased at the University Ticket Office or via Ticketmaster. All tickets are digital and on sale now. Of course, we understand that. We had a chance to talk with Ms. Kendra Bullock and Major, and so we know that those tickets are sale. All Florida Classic tickets will be digital. Club level tickets will be included in specific Investing in Champion packages. Otherwise, this ticket will be a standalone and can be purchased. So most likely there is a level that includes the Florida Classic.
Correct.
Yeah. So let's be clear about that. So if you want your package to include the Florida Classic, you have to buy into that package. Probably it's more than the $16.50, I would guess.
Right. Talk about those tailgate spots.
Okay. Let's see. There's payroll deduction, payment plan for all packages.
Go ahead. I think that's important.
Yeah, exactly. However, there will be a hard renewal deadline of June 30th. There it is. So the hard renewal deadline is June 30th. All packages and parking not paid in full by the deadline will be released. No complaining if you come in on July 1, you SOL. You had till June 30th to get it taken care of. No complaints. Non-digital ticket holders will be responsible for picking up their tickets at the ticket office between August 1 and September 1. Only Investing in Champion members will have fully renewed will be allowed to purchase additional parking at $250 per space. Availability will be on a first come, first served basis. Thoughts on that right there, Kelvin?
You have to have a policy.
That's true. You gotta have a policy, right?
You gotta have a policy.
You gotta set the policy.
So we have a policy. Just being transparent. That policy has to be executed and it has to be supported. And that's the part I'm frankly interested to
supported? What do you mean supported?
How many people gonna pay the $250 for the parking? Let's be real about it.
Well,
because and the only reason I
That's a
say
whole
that.
season though. How many home games we have this year?
5.
5 home games.
Okay, but
so that's $50 a game.
But when my boy gotta stay 2 blocks from the stadium, I could go $20 pop and $100 and stay and park in his yard.
Well, hopefully hopefully, yeah. Anytime you're gonna be in the footprint of the actual stadium, just like within other stadiums, you go to a pro stadium, it's the same way. And we don't complain. We don't make when we go watch Tampa Bay Jacksonville Jaguars or Atlanta.
I'll park in somebody's yard and then walk.
Look,
but I get your point, though. I'm just being facetious.
Yeah, prime space. I get that part. When Bryan asked a question, and so I'm going to answer that question. And he asked about support. So sometimes, we have these announcements and policies and how things going to be. And then close to the season,
they change.
They change, right? And so.
Now does that $250 allow me to tailgate?
I don't know how much they've worked that out at this point. I anticipate, and this is just me guessing, this is not me talking with Eddie Gaucher yet, but I anticipate part of the reason this announcement came out because there was a lot of inquiries going into the ticket office. And with this being an orange green game, a lot of people being in town who are adamant about being able to buy these tickets and knowing where they're going to be for the fall, that they kind of forced, you got to give us something. So I think this dump happened because of the orange green game, frankly. And we'll have to see how it goes.
I think look, I'm joking, making fun of the fact that they released it when they released it. But I think this could have easily been ready by noon, but you probably had to run it through a couple of different channels and make sure so-and-so put eyes on it. Hey, read over this. Hey, we're ready to go. And then, this was probably ready to go at 9 o'clock Friday. But once you go through all the different people who probably had to put eyes on it and comment on it and go through the long reply, and then you realize it's 4 o'clock and it's 6 o'clock, and you're like, hey guys, look, we got the spring game tomorrow. Can we please finalize this and put this out? So, I know how that works. I've been in organizations and seen how that happens. So, I jokingly will talk about the Friday news dump, but that's all in jest. I bet anything this thing was ready to go at 9 o'clock Friday, and they just had to go through some hoops. Certain things, you notice, are highlighted and bolded. I bet you that was somebody, hey, that needs to be bolded. Put an underline under that. I bet you there were certain people in other places that saw that and was like, hey, we should highlight this and make sure they understand. You know what I'm saying? So you understand how that works. Last thing, as I saw here, the Investing in Champions parking and North End Zone Club access credentials will be mailed July 1 to August 21. Additional North End Zone Club passes will be available for purchase for $250 by contacting Ms. Brandy Tatum, and you can find her email address there on the FAMU Athletics website. Parking will not be included in the additional single game passes. So, look, I firmly think those of you who are you want to be all in. I know it sounds cliche, but if you're able to afford season tickets, you're able to afford the extra amenities that go with it. In my opinion, the parking. Now you may need to put it on a payment plan because you just don't want to pay that $250 at the same time. I get that, but I got a feeling if you can swing the check for a pair of season tickets at a certain price, I'm sure you can afford the extra $250 for the parking and whatever comes with it.
I don't want to count anybody pockets.
I don't either. I'm assuming. I shouldn't do that.
My statement would be that when you go to other events, they have policies and procedures. You pay $25 to go to a concert parking lot of time, and so forth. If you just showing up for that event, in terms of athletic departments, when you buy season tickets, I want to make sure that our price packages are made so that the average family can come to our games still sure that it's considered. It ain't about if I charge $500,000 and 60 people come, I make X amount of dollars. It ain't about what you charge. It's about what people are willing to pay. And so I just want to make sure that all those angles are considered.
It's about the value that you get.
Good point. How many parking spaces would you say we have out in this lot? And then we're not far from the parking garage. What do you know what the numbers are out there in the lot and in the garage?
Yeah, roughly we have about 1,050, I think, inside of Bragg Stadium parking spaces.
Wow, okay.
But you know, some of the inventory is not available because you have coaches and media and some other and president VIPs and so forth. But roughly it's 1,050 spaces, I think.
So maybe about 700-800.
I was gonna say about 800, yeah. About 800
and then the parking garage, I want to say, and I'm going off the top of my head, I used to know the numbers. I would say it's probably somewhere around 200 spots.
Yeah. And you know, what's always fascinating, what we're talking about is a small sliver of the amount of people that'll be inside this stadium, this beautiful stadium, when 21 to 25,000 of us are in there. I mean, that's what we're talking about. So we're, you know, really, you know, for the 800 spots, it's 800, that's 1,600 people, maybe 1,500 people. That's a small percent of the actual crowd.
Not even 10%.
Not even. That's coming inside the stadium. So, shout out to and congrats to A.D. Gaucher and the athletic department for getting that out, making the announcement, making everybody aware of it. Season tickets go on sale Monday. Go to FAMUathletics.com, read all the information you need, and be a part of the Investing in Champions program. You know, that's one of the things I think that more the merrier. We got to continue to find ways to raise funds. All right. Anything else we want to talk about before we put a bow on this one and get out this hawk?
No, let's get out this hawk, man.
All right, Drew. Anything you want to add before we close down?
Man, let's pick up this show and get out of here, man. I told y'all I'm the only one under 200 on this set, and this wind is about to knock me over. I don't know if y'all can see it on camera. I'm holding up the screen to the laptop so that the laptop don't blow over and we lose our total feed, man.
Hey, I do got to, again, 2 p.m. the game will be streamed on Facebook. We are one of 13 games that are going on spring games. Texas Southern had their spring game last night, but also happening today. Alcorn State's having their spring game. Mississippi Valley State, Southern, North Carolina Central, Dell State, Norfolk State, Tennessee State, Edward Waters University, Virginia State, Lincoln, PA, Albany State again is having another one today, and then Morehouse is having their maroon and white game. So that's a good chunk, and Shaw is doing theirs tomorrow. So in total, that's a good chunk, almost 15 some odd HBCUs over the course of this weekend having their spring games. That's the largest weekend by my count amongst the month of April. So good weekend. We'll have reports throughout the week. I'm sure, follow social media. I'm sure you can find all kinds of stuff. Drew and I, when we get together to do the BCSN Sports Wrap, we'll try to find out what we can. We'll see if we'll try to find out what the one thing is. And we'll recap this. I don't know, Kofi's going to be joining us a little bit later in the stadium. I doubt we do a post game. I had toyed with the idea of doing a post game, Kelvin, but the way this hawk is, we're not doing a post game. I'm putting a plug on that now.
Not a live one.
No, not a live one. So make sure to tune in Wednesday. We will break down this spring game in more ways than people will probably want it broken down, but we will. Hopefully we'll get a chance to have Coach Simmons on as well to talk about if he doesn't just hop on the plane and go on vacation. He may go on vacation Monday or Tuesday, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's going to do it for us live from Bragg Memorial Stadium.
Got some little kids out here.
Yeah,
with their football.
Yeah. Hey, again, this is a great opportunity to bring out the youth football programs and around the Tallahassee community, and hopefully that's what we have out here today.
Yeah, I see some tailgaters starting to set up.
Tailgaters starting to set up. Good. Yeah, so it should be a good afternoon. Game starts at 2. Make sure you tune in to Facebook. FAMU Athletics is where you can watch the game. We appreciate you tuning in live with us as we pregame today. Woo! Let's get out this hawk for our producer, A.D. Drew, Kelvin Rozier, Brian Fulford, reminding you, Rattlers, when you're out there, be safe, stay warm, especially if you're coming to the game. We'll see you, shout us out, but make sure you're out there and make sure you strike, and strike again. All right, Rattlers, peace out.